We're like doing everything all at once. What's going on with this company?
That's how we
We
like.
released like
I told you, saw them.
308 and 209 same day.
Same day.
We've been months of nothing and then same day.
We'll drop 6 guns in January.
Are we live?
We are live.
And we're
Are you
already
sure?
at 60.
Yes.
No, 120.
16 people?
No, 60, not 148.
Mm-hmm.
150. And climbing.
So we're launching something new. We're launching.
Hey, Josh Aguilar's on.
We're gonna launch something.
He said he'll take one.
Huh?
This guy says, I'll take one.
I'm gonna say I'll buy that for $1.
I'll take
this audience. What movie was that from? It's so easy.
Repeat it once more.
I'll buy that for $1. No, you're not the audience. This is the people.
Oh, it's the people. I thought it was on me. My bad.
Okay, we talked earlier about new MPX base pad. Bumps it to 44 rounds on the new MPX magazine. It's a great mag at 35 rounds, bumping it up to 44 rounds, plus more in the chamber, 45 rounds. Got all the cool colors. MPX, amazing guns.
They answered RoboCop.
Softest shooting gun. You nailed it. I like it. It's RoboCop 2. Actually, not part 2. Part 2 was terrible. Part 3 was even worse. It wasn't even the same guy anymore. Okay, so what we're launching now is a base pad. We call it the Beretta base pad if we want, bumping it an extra 4 rounds. But it's really not just Beretta. It is the new SIG X Macro, which is a great little gun. Did a review on it a while ago. SIG flew us out to try it. It's cool. Little comp built into the slide, all that fun stuff. That bumps this from 17 to 20 rounds. So probably cool to carry the gun with the stock magazine and your backup reload, the big one, or if you just whatever want to go the full 21 rounds, there it is. So this base pad's a little different than all of our other base pads that set it apart because of the way it's cut in the front. And it's not just this one, the SIG and the Beretta. It's also the Canic. This is the Rival. This is a gun designed by Nils Jonathan. Nils is one of the greatest shooters in the world. We sponsored him for many years. 2012, he won everything on the planet. He's still a fantastic shooter. Rival's a great gun from Canic. Price is right, all the fun stuff. So again, it bumps it in 4 more rounds. And what else does it fit on? It fits on the SIG 226 mags. So this is the SIG Legion, which is different. It doesn't have a decocker. It has a thumb safety like a 1911. It's like a pregnant 1911. Anyway, fits on the SIG 226 frames in series. What's the other gun it fits on? It was supposed to be 5, I think. We got Beretta. We got the Canic.
VP9.
Got the
HK.
SIG. Where's the VP9?
It's on vacation.
Get me the VP9. You set me up in my video. It's all bullshit, all of it. Also, what's cool, if you already have 365s, this is the XL, there's even a little tiny one that very first came out, and you want just mass firepower for your reload mag, boink, there you go. You got 21 rounds in the little 365 XL or the regular 365. So that's our +4 base pad. It fits on at least 5 guns out there, and it's pretty cool. Any questions over there?
Sav says stop playing with all of her guns.
Who said that?
Savage.
Alicia.
Tell her she's a kukla.
You could tell her she's live.
Savage, you're the queen of the kuklas.
Do they come with different springs? All the different...
Yeah, they all come with an extra power spring. Same spring works for everything. The Rival. Neil shredded everybody's tits off with this thing. The Rival. Canic's a really great gun. Great barrel fit. No play at all. No trampoline nonsense. They're very accurate.
Have you ever competed with a Canic?
No. That's Nils' job. What else we got? Oh, the Beretta. I already covered that. Look at this wacky Beretta. It's got an RMR on it. It's got a green grip. They're doing Lethal Weapon 5. What should they have in that movie? Should they keep going with the Beretta? Pop quiz to the audience. Mel Gibson's back. Danny Glover. Joe Pesci. Only 20 years later since the last one, but everybody loves Mel.
Joe Pesci should use the Tomcat.
Shut it down, Micah. Any other stupid questions?
Taran, do you have any tips on taking base pads off of magazines?
Yeah, like if you're at a match, what I do, because you can kind of set the pin as hard as you want. I'm usually shooting a 2011 like this. You can adjust the tension. That isn't really there for you to turn it and tighten it down every single time. Sometimes it might be a little loose, a little too tight. Usually your thumb can push it up, but if it doesn't, just go to a table, push it, pop it off, run your rag through it, get one of those red rags, whatever, and then just use the table to push the pin. If you want to be easier on your thumbnail, and just slide it back on. Usually you could do it with the finger, I did, or just hit it on a tabletop and you're back in business.
How often do you clean your magazines?
Well, if it's a match, first I clean them with Triflow and push a rag through it like a paper towel. It'll come out pretty dirty. Triflow is a great lubricant. There's one over there somewhere. It just keeps things from rusting. It's great for the springs. And so I clean them before a match and load the mags at the match, obviously. And every time you drop a mag in the dirt, clean that mag. You get a lot of guys like, my gun jammed, what's going on? It's like, my car's not working anymore. I don't put gas in it anymore. What happened? It's like, dumbass, clean the mag. Run a rag through it. Don't just drop it in the dirt 4 times and wonder why it starts jamming. This gun's not good. I put water in the gas tank. What kind of car is this? So.
They said, what's your favorite gun and what's John Wick's favorite gun out of anything on the table?
Oh, they're trying to trick me into giving up the John Wick gun.
They definitely
I don't really have all the John Wick guns laying here.
Well, what's your favorite first out of everything in front of you?
I mean, I love the John Wick 3 gun. We have a little one laying around here, a 2011 Combat Master. One of my favorite guns. It just shoots amazing. What else? Laying on the table here. I mean, the Sand Viper, obviously, this thing is. I mean, it's not John Wick's. Well, maybe it's John Wick's gun. Yeah, we'll find out in a few months. This is probably my favorite gun. It's just something about it. It's just awesome. And obviously, it's made for the limited division or 3-gun or 2-gun for the limited iron sights division. You really can't beat it. 5.4-inch barrel. This is the bull barrel version. We have a sight block version. There's an island barrel version coming out. That's the exact same thing that Keanu trained with for John Wick 3. There's only a handful of those. I hogged them all in my safe like a jerk. I think Megan got one of them. But they're just great guns. But you guys are going to like the John Wick 4 gun. It's going to be completely crazy badass. So.
Are John Wick 3 guns available?
John Wick 3?
Yeah, 2011s.
Yeah, I mean, you would know more than I do.
Yeah, I mean, so if you guys can hear us, we've got a new order coming through. So by the holidays, we'll have some JW3s ready to go. So that's where we're at there.
What other questions?
They said where the Glock's at.
Oh.
It's not about the Glocks right now, right?
Today's about SIG, MPXs, and base pads. It's not really a Glock day. Obviously, Glocks are great guns, and we don't really have any much affiliation with Glock, whatever. But I'm going to endorse and sell what I think is great. And Glock to me is a great gun out of the box, and a little bit of work done to it. I mean, out of the box stock, it's not great. The sights are trash, slippery. It's like just a lump of whatever. But it's a great canvas to work on and get it tricked out. You can get a basic terminalist package and you're good to go for anything realistic. You want to get it all totally wicked out, then it's this next level. It's freaking sick. But the Glocks make great guns. They definitely do.
They said, will you do a Taran Tactical P226 X5? Would you ever trick out a 226?
Yeah. We're just trying to get caught up. It's never ending, but yeah, it'll happen.
It says, will these base pads need or come with a spring?
Yeah, they all come with a spring, an extra power spring. You could throw it on. It might not slide lock last shot, but obviously you want it to slide lock.
So the guy probably missed the last live video, but he's asking if the new magazines are going to take our base pads. So I guess we can go back a little bit into...
The new magazines of what?
First, MPXs. Excuse me.
Oh, MPX?
Yeah.
Yeah, like you buy the new MPX mag, 35 round mag, they're $50, and then you throw our base pad on there. You go from 35 rounds to 44 rounds, and that's pretty much it. So you leave the stock spring in there. They're very powerful. You can get our extra power if you want, but in this case, you don't really need to change the spring. SIG did a tremendous job on the spring design.
What's the best gun stock, in your opinion?
in stock.
Like
No, like
best
an
gun
unmodified
that is stock.
production class.
All guns.
Sand Viper. I mean, this gun, I'll talk about this gun since we're just standing here. For my whole career, like I shot Glocks forever. I was very lucky that this wacky gunsmith was taking for years to build my 2011s when I just started as a stupid kid. So I shot a Glock 24, I was able to win a bunch of stuff with a 6-inch Glock 40, get a Grandmaster card in a year, all these dumb records. But then when I started getting into the 1911s, it was like impossible to get a reliable one. I lost countless matches with some messed up, trashed out early STI edition junk Jethro Denisho sold me or whatever. But finally, the whole world, every time a 1911, the story is this: you either get John Golobianski or whatever, Matt McLaren, somebody to build you a gun for several years, wait, $7,000-8,000 later, get the gun, or you bought an STI or an Infinity and you gutted it. So the barrel wasn't good enough, the hammer and sear was some MIM trash stuff from whatever, some other country, and it was like a platform to build a gun. You had to grind the beaver tails and to a memory groove off and do all this work. So it's thousands later. So I'm like, can't somebody just make a gun that's ready to go to the match and just win and be like, have all the right stuff, crazy accurate, crazy reliable, and feel great, and obviously look badass. So that's what these guns are doing for people. You buy it, it's ready to go. You could pin the beaver tail because all the top grandmaster shooters will pin the beaver tail, but in this case, you don't even have to. You really don't. Older guns have a big old giant memory groove, gnarly bumps and edges, so long down the range, you're done. You got, building up calluses everywhere. The gun's hurting your hands, not comfortable. These details matter to win and shoot well. So I'm cloning the guns that I would grind up. I shot for Infinity for a lot of years, and I would take my Infinities and do all these details. Then I stopped dealing with Infinity a while back and started doing my own thing, and this is what we came out with. So guns like this. I put this gun up against anything out there. You can have some radical gunsmith building a thing for several years and miss, generations of matches, and by the time you're ready to shoot your ARP guy, going to go to a match. Or get it now, pay the price you would pay or less than for a custom gun to get built by these master gunsmiths. And look, they're fantastic. They're great guys. They're one-off craftsmen building a gun, taking multiple years with a huge waiting list of one old guy with a monocle building his cool-ass gun. And they're beautiful and they're wonderful guns. But if you don't want to wait for that long and want to get a gun like this, plus it's not just here's gun. This is extreme engineering internals. I didn't compromise on that. Nothing beats the hammer and sear and disconnector of extreme engineering. I could have went out and made one, all that. Oh, Taran's is better. Why? It's already the best. I'll just get that. I used it my whole career. Ion bonded, so it's even stronger, going to last longer. What about the extractor? Well, when I lost the Nationals in Barrie, Illinois, because my extractor broke at the end of the match, I'm like, I'm not going to sit around and save $60 fucking like a dumb fuck. I'm going to put an Aftec in this thing and not lose another damn match because of it. I'll lose it because I'm an idiot and I freak out. But I'll blame myself, but not the gun. So these guns come with an Aftec extractor. That's the heart of the reliability of this gun, plus the design of the feed ramp. But having an Aftec, you don't know what it is. It's not your typical extractor that you find in a 1911 built in 1910. Just a bent piece of metal. Well, Glocks and everything else have a spring-loaded extractor in the modern era, So it's a more modern designed extractor. It can't break like that. It's not going to break or just, it lost tension. Sorry, you lost the Nationals. Go watch, Blue's Clues. It's not going to do that stuff. So it's super reliable extractor. The ejector is fat and thick. A lot of guys put an ejector in there. It's a long, skinny pole. And you're in a match, all of a sudden the gun goes crazy, you find out it's snapped off. Well, I built you an extractor that's 50 feet long. Why? I don't need to extract and have it go 400 miles away. So we put in a shorter, stubbier extractor that's radius on the bottom so you don't have it snap off on the bottom. All these details, these guns are laser accurate. Well, I'm going to go to this guy because he's so accurate. Okay, that's great. Well, how accurate can accurate be? Every freaking bullet's touching at 25 yards. What more do you want in life? So the gun also is offered with a bigger giant magwell, too lazy to reload. With this magwell, we have a giant monster one. It's a clown shoe, but it's freaking awesome. You don't have to think. And everything is ion bonded. I don't want to I'm going to blue the gun. It's bluing. Okay, bluing looks great for the first day. Draw the gun for a week, and it's just all shiny metal. It's distressed now. It's a distressed look. That's just a cheap way of saying your gun looks like ass. So Also the bore axis of this dot, it's so low that you don't have to be like, well, what's my hold here? I want to shoot that light switch. Boom, oh, it hit that low, and now I'm at 50 yards. Boom, and oh, it hit that high. I don't know where to aim, Taran. It's hitting all over the place. The way this is set up is this gun is literally dead on everywhere. Unless you put the gun up against the guy's forehead a foot away, it's going to be literally dead on everywhere. Because the bore axis and this dot are so close together, you could shoot at 75 yards, ding, hit a little plate. Shoot at 5 yards, ding, virtually dead on. Depending on where you zero it. But that's also another nice thing about it. Also, the slide release is oversized. Now, it's not some goofball thing that comes back 10 feet into here and it's just total trash. It's oversized just for the reloads to hit it really easy. So that's the details of the Sand Viper.
What is your favorite round to shoot?
Well, I shot 40 for years. I love 40, but then when ammo got too crazy and bullets were going up in price, I switched to 9. Plus, the matches kind of switched things for me because 3-gun was 40 caliber major. You had to shoot major, 200 grain bullet at whatever 900 feet per second, or 180 grain bullet at 925 or whatever. So then once everything kind of became 9mm except for limited division, 3-gun went no power factor, which is wherever you hit the target, he's toasted. If you hit him in the A zone or 2 anywhere or whatever. So 9mm, I guess. I mean, my favorite probably is 223, 556. I love shooting that. But if I'm just going to shoot all the time, it's going to be 9 because that's what we have, the most ammo in, and it's just the most prevalent thing out there.
What are you zeroing your Sand Viper at?
About 15 yards, but I know where it hits everywhere. So I know if something's really close, like 7 yards or 10 feet or whatever, it's going to be like maybe an inch low or so, or almost, it's virtually dead on. Like, it's weird. It's hard. It's a weird question to ask because everywhere I'm shooting it, it's hitting on the dot. Unless I'm point blank, not point blank, but like really close at the table here, boom, and I'll see a bullet hole hit underneath the red dot. Once I get to the wall there, it's the bullet holes underneath the red dot. I start going out to 20 yards, it's on the dot. 25 yards, it's a little tiny bit above the dot. 50 yards, it's just a little bit above the dot.
Is that your standard for zeroing, or is that just the Sand Viper?
The Sand Viper, because it has such a low access bore. Same thing happens with the MPX, because we talked about earlier how the stock is dropped. Because the stock is normally, you can't get your face low enough. You're like, I can't get behind the dot. So because I dropped that and I dropped the dot down, again, you have point of impact almost everywhere close.
And Arnold versus Stallone, who wins in a fight?
I would say Stallone now, because Arnold is just, I don't know. I love Arnold, but he's kind of gone through some stupid stuff.
When is the Copperhead going to be available?
You mean the Glocks?
The Glocks, yes. Like that coating process. The
We're
Copperhead
doing them
coating
now.
process.
We didn't really launch it properly. What's new? But, just send your Glock and we'll Copperhead it out. It'll be sick.
When are the base pads going to be available? The Beretta base pads, etc.
Did we put these online today?
Today is the answer for that one.
Today.
Yes. So they're available today. And SRO versus DPP, in your opinion?
SRO.
Why?
Because it's better.
And then you've already talked about it in the last one, but people want to know what you carry.
The 365 regular, not the XL, and then a Glock 27 and a Glock 23. There's different guns for different occasions and stuff like that.
Do you have the carry trigger job on both those Glocks?
Just the factory 3.5 connector in there. No lighter striker spring, none of that stuff. Then I want to have a dud. Like, oh, it's such a lighter trigger, but it doesn't fire. And these guys are covering me up. So.
Why 40?
Because I can shoot it virtually as good as a 9, and all my guns have been 40s forever. I don't want to change out my entire mass collection of home defense guns hidden all over the place, and I just think it is better stopping power. I think the bullets that I'm using, starting with I think it's a 60 grain bullet at 2,000 feet per second. It's gonna rip your tits off, and then it drops to a 135 grain, going 1350 or something like that. So it's a bigger bullet hole. I would say 1-to-1 is going to beat the 9, but there's such good 9 now. Like I do have a few 9s for self-defense and carry. I do have a 19 here and there and a 26 or whatever, but most of my guns are 40 caliber just because it's what I've had forever. I'm old school, and with the right bullets, it's pretty brutal. Like at the very bottom of the mag, it's this crazy stuff from a company that doesn't make it anymore. It's a 155 grain bullet going like, it's so freaking hot. It's hotter than 10 millimeter. I had a guy come out with a 10 millimeter. Oh, well, I'm trying my channel. I'm going to chronograph it. It was like a 175 grain bullet going like 1100 or whatever. And this was like a 155 grain bullet going like 1350. The power factor, it was just like blue. It's like, what happened? What do you? It just, the powder they use and all that was just so freaking hot. It's brutal. I mean, I don't recommend guys to shoot. It's brutal, but it's the last part of the mag. So like, at that point, some weird like juggernaut guy coming through the wall, and might as well mag dump him till those rounds come out.
Shout out to Biggie just keeps crawling. He just says, out of all the world's YouTube video junk out there, he really appreciates these Q&As. These are awesome. He says, thank you for doing it.
Oh, cool.
They're still asking for a desk pop.
Oh, fire the gong?
Yeah.
I don't know. That movie was so good. That and Happy Gilmore, two great ones.
Oh, Happy Gilmore. That's my go-to. Well, it doesn't look like we have any more questions. It looks
That's
like
it?
we're all wrapped up.
Swapped out.
So
we'll wrap it up with what we started with.
Exactly.
So we have like this kind of a universal base pad. It fits at least 5 guns that we know of right now. It might fit more. You know, we're too lazy to go grab every wacky European gun on the planet. But it bumps everything like 4 rounds pretty much. Comes with a spring. Got all the cool colors. And it's good to go. It does distinguish itself with different look in the front than all the other base pads out
And they
there.
will work on macros.
Yeah, I mean that was the first thing we put it on was the bread and the macro. So
So if you could just show it.
So if you've got the X5 macro, there it is. It's on the macro. Give you 21 rounds. X5 macro.
Any plan on doing a Colt AR9 base pad?
Our base pads already fit on there. Our Glock base pads fit on there. So I never really talk about it, advertise. I don't think about that much, but if 3 guys will buy it.
All right, that's about it.
That it?
That's it. Thanks, guys.